Guys don't go for nice girls.
Ladies, we are going to break down exactly how to activate your feminine energy that makes you so attractive to masculine provider energy in dating and in marriage. They will be spoiling you and taking care of you. And for those lovely ladies that are new here, what's up? I'm Natasha.
And I'm Brian.
I was a former single mom with 4 kids, went through a whole bunch of trauma and loss. If you're interested in learning more about dating and relationships and feeling good in your body again, I'm talking your hormones, your nervous system, all of that.
Click the subscribe button so you don't miss any of our videos and content.
Of course, we got to do the masculine and the feminine perspective on this one, ladies. So, babe, I have to ask you, for the ladies, why is it that men, they will date, they'll fool around with, they'll hook up with nice girls, they'll even marry nice girls sometimes, but they just don't treat them well? Why is that?
Well, a big reason that men don't marry or treat those nice girls well is because the nice girls don't really present a challenge for the men. So the nice girls can be attractive. They
Yeah.
could be, just check a few boxes that the men are looking for. But if they're just nice in a way where anything you need, they're going to do, where they don't know how to say no, subconsciously we begin to pull back on a romantic level in a sense of really feeling like we need to commit to you. Now, men in general, and that's any man, will have sex with you. So I don't want you to feel like because he's sexually attracted to you that, being the nice girl is working. No, it doesn't cause us to really step up to the plate in each area. We know that no matter what we do, that you're going to accept us back, that everything's going to be okay. You're going to forgive, and we're going to move forward. We're going to say a few things to you, apologize, and then it's going to be right back where it needs to be. But the woman who has her boundaries, she's still easy to approach. She doesn't have the nice girl energy, but she has those boundaries in place. Those are the ladies that we respect and want to move forward in marriage with.
Ooh, that was really good. I know that was a lot of truth, but okay, let me just break this down for you ladies. And it's okay if you're triggered, lean in. This is your era to heal and up level. So just so you know, I was the nice girl. I was the nice girl, and so many women that I attract into my community are the nice girls. There's nothing wrong with being a nice girl.
Yeah.
There's a difference between nice girl energy and kind girl energy.
Yes.
We will never tell you to be a bee
Yes.
or have your guard up or be rude or guarded or anything like that. That's not what we're telling you to do. Being a nice girl is when you are the overgiver. You're the people pleaser. You have those unhealed abandonment and rejection wounds. You have the daddy issues. Like, let's just be real. From childhood, you've learned that in order to survive in life, often it's from childhood, you got to people please, you got to overgive, you got to provide, you got to do everything for everybody. And even subconsciously, that tension and that conflict makes you really uncomfortable. And so you compromise your boundaries, you compromise your standards, you compromise things because you don't want the guy to leave you, because it triggers that anxiousness, it triggers that abandonment wound, it triggers those things. So often what nice girls will do is they will just say yes to everybody to make sure everyone is happy. And then what happens, the byproduct of that is you're not going to attract a masculine energy man that treats you like a princess every day or that steps up in marriage. Be an under earner also, because the under earners are the girls that are willing to do everything at work, no boundaries, or everything for clients, undercharge, all these things, because it's the same patterns, the same underlying pattern. So instead, what we're talking about is being in your healthy, whole feminine energy, the wife energy, the bride energy, the energy where you know your worth, you know your value, you've done your inner work and inner healing so that you have boundaries, and it's okay if you say no. And what happens, like what Coach B is talking about, men can sense this. She's different. She's not mad, she's not angry, she's not jaded and bitter and have a bee face, but she knows her worth, and you can see it all over her. She's not in her needy pick me energy, and men are drawn to that.
And one thing you have to know is most men aren't going to tell you this.
No.
Most men aren't going to say, we don't want a nice girl, because in those situations, men are going to just treat you for how you are, right? We're not going to make you someone else.
Yeah.
We don't want to turn you into a wife if you're not. We don't want to turn you into somebody with boundaries if you don't have boundaries.
No, they're going to take it.
We're going to take advantage. We're going to push those boundaries, but we'll move on and marry someone else. You'll see whether women are in a long-term relationship with these guys, 5, 6, 7 years. They break up, then the guy gets married 6 months later.
Yep.
And a lot of times you're thinking, what did I do wrong? I thought I was everything that he desired. A lot of times what it could have been, you're in your nice girl energy. You're not really someone that he trusts moving forward with in a marriage relationship where you can hold your boundaries. You're willing to say no in situations. And that's just not with him, but we're talking about with other guys. We're talking about at work. Guys love women when they're not around, they can trust to continue to hold those standards and boundaries.
And sometimes it's just not the right fit. He could be an amazing guy. You might really love each other, but it's just not the right fit, which is why we are on here encouraging our girls not to stay in dating purgatory forever, especially if you're a single mom, babe. Because when you are dating around and you're looking at other options, you're never going to get attached to one guy. And, you know, the wrong guys are going to fall away. You're going to clear space for the right guy to come to the picture. But once again, they're going to settle down with you. They're going to commit to you. They're going to want to marry you and spoil you if they know that if they don't do it, somebody else will. If they know that you're always going to be there, you're always going to come back, they could literally do whatever it is that they want, and then they will call you, and then you're right back there with them. They are not going to step up because they know you're not going anywhere, babe. That is how women shoot themselves in the foot all the time. And also, I just want to say, if you do struggle with this, babe, like, don't judge yourself. What this comes down to is inner child healing. And this is not something that I was even aware of a few years ago. But if you have some wounds around daddy not being there, not being the provider, not being consistent, or past divorce or infidelity, any of those things get programmed into the woman's nervous system. So she doesn't feel safe. What you're actually doing is subconsciously self-sabotaging, because deep down you don't actually, even though you say you want to get married, deep down you actually don't feel safe around healthy masculine energy, or you don't even know what it feels like. So you subconsciously push it away and attract the guys that are just breadcrumbing you.
And this works so well. Well, I'm saying this works because this is something that we went through as well, where we were talking for a while. We met up. Then it got to a point where she felt like the relationship wasn't going in the direction that she desired. Now, she still liked me. She still saw that it potentially could be something there, but she made a decision to step away. So when I came back and I reached out to her, I knew she had boundaries. I knew she had standards, and I knew that I couldn't come back to her and thinking, okay, I'm dealing with this nice girl where she's just going to be happy I called. No, she stood out because she did something different than most women I've ever been involved with have done. She had her standards. She had boundaries, and she knew what she desired. If it was me being the person she was going to marry, or if it was going to be someone else, she knew that she desired and was going to be married within 6 months to a year. And whoever it was, she was okay with it. So that disconnecting was so big as well.
That's why we have so many videos on no contact, on detaching, and we encourage our girls to do a lot of inner work, inner healing, because if you don't do that, you naturally as a woman are going to attach yourself to a guy for your self-worth, for validation, for all of that. And even if you do really care about him. Also, I just wanted to mention, because we've talked about this a lot, I would say that auntie energy is very much that nice girl energy. This was super triggering for a lot of girls in our other videos. And I think it's just because they just didn't understand the context that we were talking about. Auntie energy. We're not talking about you not being a great, nurturing, loving auntie, okay, at all. What we're talking about is don't bring that energy into your love life, into your dating or married life. Now, this is something that I really became aware of, especially if you are a business owner, you're a mom, you're a single mom, you're used to giving commands and telling people what to do, and you're nurturing. I'm a nurse, right? I'm a former nurse. So men do love nurturing energy from women. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about is when you are dating and when you're married, you're not mothering him. You're not treating him like your nephew or your son or your daughter or one of your coworkers or one of your employees or someone that you're contracting. And for us women, we have to make that conscious decision, because we could be in work mode or nursing mode or auntie mode, and then we think, then we're on a date or we're out walking around talking to a guy, and you're still in that energy, and that's a turn off for guys. They're not going to romanticize you and look at you in that way if you're embodied in that energy.
That's so true. And us as men, we love our aunties. So if any of my aunties are watching, I love you. This isn't even coming at that. We're talking about romantically. I would never look at an auntie in that way, even though they have so many great traits. And whenever you see a guy coming at you, or whenever a guy is talking to you and you feel like you've known them forever, you feel like family or things like that, you could potentially be in your auntie energy if it's not romantic. If it's just like, man, you just feel like a good friend, trust me, you might want to look to see if we're having those, if the guy is coming to you and saying you're more like family than looking at you romantically, because we're not looking for best friend women or anything like that. So you could potentially be in your auntie energy. So nothing wrong with it. Just make slight adjustments. First, identify it, and we go into it in the Feminine Energy Academy. Make sure you stay out of the bro, the family, the good friend energy, because once most men put you there, they can never really see you as their wife. They even may have sex with you, but you'll never be a wife if you're just a friend, because if you're just a friend.
Babe, that's actually a really good point. Let's talk about that.
Okay.
Being friend zone, ladies. So if a guy, say you work with a guy, you know a guy, you see him around, and he's talking to you like he's a friend, like you're such a good friend, you're friend zone, and you have, you're interested in this guy, but he's looking at you like a friend. The reason why is you are not in your activated feminine energy. Now, I mean, I'm assuming that he's single. We're talking about in a scenario that he's single.
Yes,
okay,
of
we're not
course.
encouraging you to, if he's married, that's a whole nother story. But if this guy is single, what will often happen, I see this all the time with ladies that I coach, is you are such a nice girl, you're sweet, you're such a good friend to him, right? You guys work together, you have fun together, but he doesn't see you anything more than a friend, like you're friend zoned, right? And so the reason why, babe, is men are not attracted to their friends. So if you come in your bro energy, you know all the sports, you're showing him how cool you are, you work out, you're jacked, you're just like one of the guys, like you're talking about all the guy stuff. He might think you're awesome and tell you that, but he is not romantically attracted to you, because subconsciously heterosexual men are turned off. They are repelled by women in their masculine energy. They are drawn, they are attracted to physically and energetically to the woman that's in her feminine energy, even if she doesn't know anything about sports or doesn't, isn't a bro at the gym or anything like that. So just pay attention to that as well when you are interacting with guys in dating and in marriage.
So ladies, let us know what you think in the comments. Let us know if this is helpful, if you have any questions.
Yeah, and we'll of course leave links below for resources for our programs if you want to go really deep into this, really activate your feminine energy and really heal your nervous system and any of those abandonment, rejection wounds that might still be lingering and repelling men away from you.